Namo Bhagavate Nityanandaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Nityanandaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Nityanandaya. Today I am starting with the reading of Chidakasha Gita. Yeah, I don't know whether anybody of you know about this Chidakasha Gita. As Lord Krishna has given the advice of Gita to Arjuna, same way Bhagavan Nityananda, while he was living in the 20s of the 20th century, that is from about 2020 to 2020, it is from 1920 to 1930 onwards. Okay. He was in Mangalore at this time. He was staying in Mangalore. But at that time when he was staying in Mangalore, he used to go in deep meditation and trance. So there were so many people. He had so many followers, and he had so many sadhakas followed him. So one such sadhaki was one Tulasi Amma. Okay, so she was always with Baba only. So whenever Baba went into deep meditation or trance, he used to give certain teachings. He used to tell certain like he used to recite certain verses which Tulasi Amma used to write in Kannada language. Later on, it was translated into other different languages. So we do not have the actual version right now. So I am just trying to read an English version which I have got from the Ganeshpuri Ashram. So today onwards, I'm starting to read Chidakasha Gita as translated. Okay. So the first shloka. So the first shloka runs like this. Not shloka, but the meaning of the shloka. Okay. Bhagavan. For jnanis, the mind has merged with the infinite consciousness. So this is first part 1. Okay. Atma Prabha. It's the meaning. Heading is Atma Prabha. In this first meaning is that for jnanis. For jnanis means for people who have understood the jnana. That is the perfect knowledge of who we are, whom I am. For jnanis, the mind. The mind means it is manas. Our mind has merged. It has merged with the infinite consciousness. So the mind, our mind has been merged with the infinite consciousness. That is what we have already talked in Nishawasa Upanishads, that is Parabrahma. Okay, their mind is dissolved in the infinite consciousness. They do not have a mind. So they do not have a mind. Okay, manas of their own. In this state, they get no dreams. So they don't have any dreams. Sleep, they don't have any sleep. Nor have they any need for slumber. They don't have any need to sleep. So it's been told that jnanis, your mind has been merged with the infinite consciousness. For a person whose mind is merged with infinite consciousness, he does not have a mind. First of all, then in that state they get no dreams. Okay, they don't have any sleep, nor have they any need for slumber. They don't have any need for slumber. This is what Bhagavan is saying. I am saying Bhagavan, actually Nityananda Bhagavan, I am saying Bhagavan. Okay, I'll be referring to him as Bhagavan. For them, day and night are the same. For them, day and night are the same. They don't have anything like day or night, difference between the day or night. Jnanis are always in the supreme bliss of samadhi. They are always in supreme consciousness. Okay, that is known as samadhi. The mind is covered with a layer of carbon. Means those like people like us, okay, normal people. What is happening to them? Let's see. Their mind is covered with a layer of carbon. Means a black smoke. All our minds are covered with black smoke of what? What are these impurities which which our minds are all covered with? Which are impurities in the mind, like thoughts, desires, anger, love, hate, emotions. So many emotions: anger, love, hate, then desires, thoughts. etc. So all these are forming the all these things are impurities which are enveloped in our minds. Okay, once our mind goes beyond these states, so if when our mind goes beyond this anger, the desire, thoughts, love, hate, emotions, etc., when our mind goes beyond these impurities, the layer of carbon is removed. So at that time the layer which of carbon is removed. This is the first meaning of the sloka which Bhagavan has given to this Amma. What is her name? Her name is Tulasi Amma. Okay, so the next one, the important nadis of the body are, we have in nadis, there are, we have got important nadis. They are the sun, or Sushumna. We have got the Sushumna nadi, which is the sun, the moon or the Ida, the moon, the Ida is the moon, Sushumna is the sun, the star or the Pingala or the star. So we got three nadis. One is the Sushumna nadi, which is the sun, then Ida is the moon, and the star is the Pingala. Sushumna is red in color. So Sushumna nadi is red in color. Ida is blue and Pingala is green in color. The Ida is on the left side of the spinal cord, the Pingala on the right side of the spinal cord. Okay, then there is a hollow canal called the Sushumna. Then there is a hollow canal known as the Sushumna that runs in the center of the spinal cord. In the center of the spinal cord, there is a hollow space in which Sushumna nadi is going. So in the Sushumna is in the center. On the left we have got the Ida, and on the right side we have got the Pingala. Okay, so the Sushumna nadi is red in color, the Ida is blue in color, and the Pingala is green in color. So then the second stanza is over. Okay, so I think I'll read the third one also. The place where these three nadis meet, that is the Ida, the Pingala, and the Sukshmana, is called Hridayakasha. So these three are meeting at one place. Yes, it is known as the Hridayakasha or the heart space. It is in our heart, in the heart space they are meeting. As one goes practicing yoga, so one goes on practicing yoga, the sound of Bindu is heard from the head. So when we practice yoga for a long time, we will hear a sound from, that is known as Bindu, from the head. This sound will be like that of a harmonium or of a drum or of a fiddle. It can be, sometimes we can hear that of a harmonium, or else some people will hear it as the sound of a drum or sound of a fiddle, that is violin. Okay, in the process one must forget the mind. So in the process of the yoga one must forget the mind. We should not have any feelings, emotions, desire, thought, anger, hatred, nothing. So we have no mind. So we have to come to a stage where that we does not have a mind, and what we have to do is we have to merge with the sound of Bindu, which is one. So when we hear the sound, we have to merge in that sound of the Bindu, and we have to be one with Bindu, that sound which we are hearing while we are practicing yoga. So this is the third one. So I'm going to read the fourth one also. Let us see the camphor and fire separately. So when we burn the camphor, that is when we burn the camphor, we have to see both camphor and fire separately. When the fire is applied on the camphor disappears. Okay, when fire is applied on the camphor disappears. Similarly, we think that the mind, that is manas, be separate from soul. So the mind has to be separated from the soul, that is Atma. On practice of yoga, the mind, the manas, the mind, that is manas, merges with the Atma. On practice, so while we go on practicing yoga, our mind will merge with our Atma. So there will not be any maybe mind will come merged with the Atma. So the fifth one I am reading. Copra means that is dried coconut. Okay, copra is the dried kernel of the coconut. So when coconut dries up, we will hear a sound when we just the copra will be shaking from inside when it is dried up. Before copra is taken out from the coconut, a dull sound is heard when shaken. So when we shake it, we will hear sound. Similarly, by the practice of yoga, the soul is felt separate from the body. So when we go on practicing yoga, our soul will be separated from our body. By yogic light, all the impurities are burnt. By the yogic light, all the impurities of the mind are burnt, and the mind becomes pure. And by yoga, mind becomes pure. This shows the importance of the yoga. So on the next is sixth is breathing. I think now it's already. Next I'll start in the next version. In my next video, I will be reading the sixth onwards. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening to this discourse. Baba bless all of you. Hare Krishna and Sarva Krishna. Namaste.